Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're jumping right into a totally bizarre paradox that's probably sitting on your kitchen counter right now. We're going to unpack the fascinating and honestly mind-blowing science hidden inside one of our absolute favorite everyday fruits. We're taking a look at the humble banana and uncovering an atomic secret that's practically invisible to the naked eye. Get ready, because you're going to see your morning snack in a completely new light.
Section 1. The radioactive rumor, fact or fiction? So if you've spent any time on internet trivia boards or listening to random fun facts, you've probably heard this really alarming claim, usually whispered like some closely guarded scientific secret. Are bananas actually radioactive? I know, it sounds terrifying, right? When we hear the word radioactive, our brains instantly jump to nuclear reactors, hazmat suits, and glowing green slime. You might even be tempted to toss your fruit basket in the trash just to be safe. But hey, let me reassure you right out of the gate, the truth behind this rumor is completely harmless. And honestly, the science behind it is absolutely brilliant once we break it down.
Section 2. The science of potassium-40 inside the fruit.
Okay, let's dive into this. To really grasp why this rumor even exists, we need to stop looking at the scary headlines and start looking at the actual chemical makeup of the banana itself. Bananas are famous for containing potassium. Now, this is a vital electrolyte and a totally essential mineral for human biology. Your body absolutely needs it to maintain fluid balance and keep everything running smoothly. Every time you move a muscle, every time your nervous system fires a signal, and literally every single time your heart beats, you're relying heavily on potassium to make that happen.
Now, what's really interesting about this is that not all potassium in the universe is perfectly identical. Out in nature, a super tiny fraction of this essential mineral exists as potassium-40, and this is a naturally occurring radioactive isotope. To give you an idea of the scale we're talking about, potassium-40 makes up only about 0.012% of the total potassium found on Earth. It has a half-life of over 1 billion years. That means it decays incredibly slowly, releasing just microscopic amounts of radiation as it goes. So when a banana pulls potassium from the soil as it grows, it just naturally pulls up a minuscule amount of this potassium-40 isotope along with it.
Section 3. The banana equivalent dose. Understanding radiation scale.
Now, hearing that your food is emitting radiation might naturally trigger a little bit of anxiety. But to understand why this is definitely not a threat, we have to look at the actual mathematical scale of this radiation. Let's look at this number: millions. If you wanted to reach a genuinely lethal dose of radiation purely from eating bananas, you would have to consume roughly 30 million of them at the exact same time. And hey, even if you just wanted to experience mild, acute radiation symptoms, you'd still need to eat thousands of bananas every single day for years.
Because the scale is just so massive, the actual radiation you absorb from a single banana is microscopic. It is 100% harmless. I mean, it's physically impossible to eat millions or even hundreds of bananas in one sitting anyway. You'd run into severe gastrointestinal distress and literally run out of stomach space way before radiation would even register as a biological concern. So a single banana? Perfectly safe.
But here's where it gets super cool, and this is really the core of how the banana equivalent works. Because the radiation in one banana is so small, but also universally consistent, it created an awesome opportunity for scientists. Normally, radiation is measured in standard units called sieverts, or microsieverts for everyday exposure. The math here is incredibly elegant. Eating one average-sized banana exposes you to roughly 0.1 microsieverts of radiation. But standard radiation metrics can be pretty abstract and confusing, right? So science communicators developed this brilliant informal measurement called the banana equivalent dose. It uses that 0.1 microsievert baseline to make invisible radiation completely tangible. For example, instead of a doctor saying a standard dental x-ray exposes you to 5 microsieverts, they could just explain it's equivalent to eating 50 bananas. Taking a cross-country flight from New York to LA, that exposes you to about 40 microsieverts of cosmic radiation, which equals roughly 400 bananas. It's a real game changer of an educational tool that takes these complex, intimidating numbers and translates them into an everyday object we all understand.
Section 4. Natural background radiation. It's everywhere.
Let's move to and see how this builds, because now that we thoroughly understand how the banana equivalent dose works, we can use it to map the wider world. You see, we are constantly surrounded by natural background radiation. It's in the soil beneath your feet, it's in the air you breathe. Actually, if you live in a house made of brick or concrete, the natural radioactive materials in those building blocks expose you to about 70 bananas worth of radiation every single year. Even the human body contains its own potassium-40. Just sleeping next to another person in bed exposes you to about half a banana's worth of radiation overnight. We exist in this constant, completely safe bath of background radiation.
Section 5.
Safe and healthy. Why you should keep eating bananas.
So the crucial point is, despite all those sensationalist rumors, the banana remains an incredible net positive for your biological health. The narrative loop here is actually kind of beautiful. The very element that makes the banana technically radioactive, that essential potassium, is the exact same element that makes it an absolute superfood for your heart and your muscles. On top of that, they're packed with dietary fiber, vitamin B6, and vitamin C. They are, for sure, one of the healthiest, most perfectly packaged snacks you can find in nature.
So, the next time someone tries to scare you with a bit of banana trivia or tells you your breakfast is radioactive, you now have the ultimate scientific trump card in your back pocket. You can just smile and tell them, well, that's true, but it's completely natural and perfectly safe. You could even offer to calculate their latest dental x-ray and banana units if you want to show off a bit.
Which leaves us with a final thought to ponder. What other invisible scientific wonders are hiding right there in your everyday life? Think about it. If a simple piece of fruit on your kitchen counter holds this much fascinating atomic geometry, just imagine what else in our environment is waiting to be understood. Stay curious, keep exploring the hidden mechanics of our natural world, and hey, thank you so much for joining me in this explainer.